then he would only have the Australian Grand Prix to win to beat Nigel's record. But there's still some distance to go in this race, and off goes Damon Hill. Damon Hill bouncing across the gravel at the Spoon Curve. That's where both he and David Coulthard went off yesterday, and that has effectively destroyed not only his chance of catching Michael Schumacher, which was a slim enough one in the first place, but of retaining his second place in the World Championship, because that was David Coulthard going ahead of him at the Spoon Curve, and he rejoins behind Mika Häkkinen and behind Mark Blundell, who's already been lapped.
Now here's what happened, here's the replay. He's coming in doing 120 miles an hour. He gets wide, simply just drifts wide. The curve launches the car in the air. He's bouncing across the gravel track, frankly trying to keep some power on at this stage to try and get sanctuary in the grass along the far side. And David Coulthard's going off. This looks like rain is indeed, it's the same place there, that rain is indeed falling at the back of the circuit. Now this is when it's going to be so desperately important to monitor the weather, to read the track conditions, to feel how much grip you've got. We were talking about it earlier on when they're on slick tyres, and it started to rain here as well. I think we may be about to see, and David Coulthard gets very out of shape there. Now that's where Mark Blundell went off, and Blundell went off a lot harder than that, but it looks as if, to me, some of the gravel came out from the side pod that was being contained by that Williams car, and as he braked for the corner it shot back and it got underneath the wheels, and that precipitated David Coulthard going off. I suspect we may well see a replay of that, but Frank Williams distinctly unimpressed.
And of course Schumacher, having told his pit it's wet on the other side, will almost be certainly, and you can see that Damon Hill's problems are compounded by the fact that obviously after he put on that new nose cone, maybe he forgot to press the speed limiter button, and he's now coming in for another pit stop, another 10 seconds, plus the time that it takes to slow down and then get into the pits. What a dreadful race for Damon and for Williams, with Coulthard out of the contention. The only consolation for Hill will be that at least he's not going to lose his second place in the World Championship to Coulthard.
Indeed. Now we saw the Williams mechanics running down to go to the end of the pit lane to be there when Hill comes in for his time penalty, spending 10 seconds at rest. And it is indeed my guess that, as happened in Belgium when Hill got a pit lane speeding penalty, he did that because he forgot to push the button, quite frankly. The car has the equipment and he forgot to push the button. That's probably the most likely cause of it here. Certainly a degree of mitigation and all the turmoil, no doubt, going through Hill's mind. At that pit stop, he was the first person to come to grief at that slippery section of the track, and this is that point there now, and he's done it again. This is unbelievable. He's done it again.
And this time he is out of the race. Well, words fail me.